Hey guys, this is Caitlin here. I'm going to be doing a review from a anime movie that I've watched a couple of nights ago called A Silent Voice. Now, I do have it pulled up here so I could try to remember some of the characters' names. I only really remember like the two main characters that this game like it's a good movie because for a lot of different reasons. Now, one is if it makes you care like enough to like either hate something like something that happens or a character or like a character or like something that happens in it, then it's a good movie. It causes you to actually care about what happens in it. Now, the main character, the main character is a guy named what was it? Shoya. I'm trying to remember the last name. Ishida. So Shoya, and they call his nickname is Sho. And then it pretty much starts off. Well, not starts off, but I don't know if I should start. Okay, I'll just start there. So we see Shoya or the show as a adult, and we see him like pretty much quitting his job, like putting in his 2 weeks, whatever, quitting. Um, he his like room is clean. He has like an envelope where his like I think on it says all the money I owe you, and he leaves it for a lady who we find out to be his mom. But like he just like puts it in a bowl or whatever, and he just like walks to a bridge, stands up on the bridge, and is getting ready to jump, and he's literally about to fall over, like just let himself fall. But then he hears a loud bang, and it's a couple of kids like off to the side playing with fireworks, and that causes him to like wake up like from his like he was just like not there, like he was there but then not there, if you know what I'm saying, like mentally. So he like kind of like woken up, and like he stops himself from falling, and he like gets down and is walking. And then we see it does go like flashbacks, so we do see him as a kid, and we see that he was like a happy go kid who like just goofs off with some of his friends. Now I forgot two of the friends' names. One was a blonde kid, another was like a big bone kid, and they used to goof off. And there's two girl characters who one name is, hold on, Nyoka, and there's another girl named Miyoko Sarahara, but she's there, but not like one of the main ones that is in the issue here. And there's also Mika. So that's his group pretty much when he was younger. And we see like them like playing around here, like there's scenes of them playing around and stuff like that, and he's just over here just like in class chilling like this, like just like playing with his mechanical pencil. And his teacher announced that they have a new student, and this student is named Shoka, or is it Shoka? Shoko. There you go, Shoko. And she like goes in her like the teacher asks her to introduce herself to the student, and she's not responding. So he like taps her on like her shoulder, and then she goes huh, and then she goes in her book, and she opens it, and it's words that's telling like introducing herself, telling them that it's nice to meet them, and if they ever want to communicate with her to use the book, and that she can't hear, so she's deaf. And a lot of the students are like reacting like, oh, she can't hear and stuff like that. And then it takes Show like the longest to react. He's like, holy crap, like really loud. And at first, a lot of the students were intrigued, and like they were talking like around her, and like one of them was talking to her, like like writing down, saying stuff. So one of the girls who's in Show's group, what was it, Nyoka? Yeah, Nyoka. She has like long black hair, and she usually sits next to Show, and she was pretty much making like a wisecrack, but and the other girls like laugh, but Shoka, she didn't really. She of course she can't hear it, but she knows that they're reacting to something. So she turns around and then she like has it written like can you like say it, like write it down so she could know like what's going on. So then Mika, she's the girl with glasses and have like green, like greenish yellow hair, and she like writes down something else that wasn't mean or nothing. It was just like she pretty much took what the girl said and like pretty much ignored the bad side, like the bad thing that she said, and like put like, oh, like what do you do, you know, something like simple like a question or whatever. So Shoka was starting to, you know, like wanted to make friends. So she's hanging out with Naoka, and Naoka was actually being like friendly and nice to her at first, and then after a while, she started to dislike her, and Sho was starting to tease her and bully her too. Now at first you do see like some of his friends like you know Sho like looks like, but then eventually they joined in and was teasing and bullying her. Like it was like bullying, and this thing pissed me off. Like I'm like, what is wrong with you kids? Like she can't hear you, and it's like they're blaming her. Like she's very nice too. So like when the guy Sho he like wrote something mean about her, and like it was like in Japanese, so I can't read it, and she sees that and he goes, oh, who would have done this? And then, like he like starts to erase it, and then she writes something and it says it's thank you. So someone like bullies her or whatever, she goes thank you or I'm sorry. So she pretty much blames herself for other people being inconvenienced or just being jerks. And that really pissed me off. I'm like, she's a sweet girl and you over here bullying her. So they make her life hell, especially Sho. So like he would like take her book for example and throw it into a pond when she was like, "Can we be friends?" type thing. Um, when she's in when they're in chorus class, she's like looking at everyone and everyone's like you know moving to the music. She starts singing and you know like since she's deaf like her voice is also not that great. So people were like, "Oh, we're gonna lose the chorus because of her kind of thing." So I'm like, come on, like, chill out. It's just chorus. Like, it was just like really hard to watch scenes like that because I just wanted to like if I just want to be in the movie so I could just beat up these kids like I wouldn't like you know if I was a kid like if I was in their class like and I was like seeing and hearing all this stuff I would just want to beat them up kind of stuff because that like how are you gonna be mean to so there's a point where she like her class get like the teacher and I think I don't know if it was guidance counselor or principal or whatever, but no, I think it was another teacher or whatever. She goes in and she asks the kids if they could learn sign language to make it easier for Shoka, and it was just gonna be like 5 minutes of their day of just learning it. So who was it? Naoka, she had an attitude like, "Oh, I'd rather just write in the book. Like, I don't. It would be easier for me." Like, I'm like, what? One, you already distant yourself from her at this point. Like, when Shoka wanted to like, Shoko, I should say. I keep saying Shoka. Shoko wanted to play with them. They would walk off and leave her. So like, it's these are just selfish kids, whatever. So one of the classmates named Shahara, she volunteers to learn it so that she could be the translator for Shoko. So they start to hang out and they build like a friendship, but Naoka, she starts to like view that and she starts feeling a type of way. So she gets like some of the other girls to like bully Shahara to where Shahara just stops coming to that school and she just transfers. She was getting bullied. So it leaves Shoko alone, who and she keeps getting bullied by Shoya, who I said Shoya, Show, let's just call him Show, to the point where she eventually gets hearing aids so she could like fit in a bit more, and Show asks Naoka to let him see it, cause like Naoka got it from um Shoko so she could just like see it, and then he asks her to like toss it to him. He looks at it, he goes, "Ew, earwax," throws it out the window. So then we get a montage of him just taking out her ear and all that stuff and like throwing it and stuff like that. And at one point, he takes it out of her ear, and her ear starts to bleed, and she's like this, and it's just bleeding. And one of his friends like, "Man, you went too far," kind of thing. And then I think she stopped coming to school after a while, and the principal comes in and is talking to the whole class, saying, um, Shoko's mom called the school to talk about how 8 of her hearing aids has gone missing or damaged. Now we come to like we believe that she's being bullied. So if anyone has any information, let us know, or else all you guys are going to get in trouble, pretty much. So the teacher already goes, "Show, we already know you have been teasing her. Everyone knows this. Stand up." And like he was like Show was gonna raise his hand when he was asked, but he was like going slow. So the teacher calls him out like before he even had his chance to do that. He's like slams his hand on the chalkboard behind him. He's like, "Stand up! We know you've been doing this." Like like pissed off as he should be. And he then asks Naoka, who sits right next to Show, like, "Have you seen anything?" Because you sit next to him. And then she pretty much just blames him for everything. She goes, "Yeah, he was teasing her a lot, and I thought he was going a little too far." And then Miki also chimes in saying that she also like agrees, like, "Yeah, he was going too hard." And then Show was like shocked. He's like, "What? You guys were bullying her too. You guys were making fun of her and all that stuff." And then he was like, "It's not just the boys who are doing it. It's the girls too, who were just as bad." And then Miki gets mad, like, and like starts to cry and all this stuff. And she was like, she really pissed me off. She was like, "I would never." She's pretty much trying to make everyone um feel pretty much feel bad about her being blamed, kind of thing, and all look at him like Show like he's the bad guy, even though it's true. Like we literally see that they all made fun of her. They like that group of friends all bullied her. They wrote stuff on her desk and all this stuff. And when they were doing that, like after a while, no, I don't think Shoko didn't move schools yet. She was just absent for that day. But he gets in trouble to where his mom gets a phone call, and all his friends turned on him too. Like the other 2 guy friends, like they were blaming him and all that stuff, and he was like all shocked and stuff. So his friends pretty much stopped being friends with him too. Like all of them just stopped being friends with him, and he starts to get bullied by his own friends. Now it could have been other people from the class as well, but we mainly see that it's his friends. So they beat him up too, like the 2 friends that, and I think they had other friends beat him up, and we saw him like injured, like on the ground. And then another time, I think they threw him into a small koi pond. The mom sees him and is mad, and like, "The teacher told me this and this. Go get cleaned up. We're gonna go apologize to Shoko and her mom." So the mom, Show's mom, goes there and is like, she took out money from her bank to like pay for the damaged hearing aids, and she gives it to the mom, and she's like bowing and apologizing from afar, and she was gonna call Show to come apologize, and the Shoko's mom stopped her and asked her to come to the side. And then Show is just walking, and he sees Shoko feeding, like, I think she was feeding the birds, and Show like does something to where he almost trips and the birds fly away, and he gets seen by Shoko. So he eventually leaves, and all Shoko wanted was to be friends. That's all she wanted. She even says, can we be friends? And she said that multiple times, and he just like dismisses her. Now he leaves and he sees his mom, and her ear's like bleeding. So she got hit by Shoko's mom being up or whatever, and she that really affected him too. Like he sees his mom having to pay the money, having to like being injured. So he sees like his actions is affecting his mom, who is angry at him for doing the stuff he did. Now he continuously gets bullied throughout school, and we see like that's something that's probably caused him to want to commit, you know, at the beginning of the movie. So he's in high school at this point, or is that just middle school? I don't know how their schooling system works, but it feels like it's high school because at this point I think they're 16. So he's still being bullied even in there because he the way he views everyone, like he closed himself off. Like everyone else has like an X on their face except like people like he doesn't close off. So like his mom and his niece, and we don't really see his sister's face for most of the movie until like later on, but like everyone else has like an X on their face, and he closed off like even listening to them. So like at one point he's like he's like pretty much mouthing over like what people are saying. So he's like, huh, look at that loser, huh, look at that, like stuff like that, like of other people, as if that's what they're saying, even if they're not. So he's just having himself close off from people, and he eventually goes to find. He like looks up and goes to find Shoko, and she's in a different school at this point because she just left like after all the bullying. So there's a cool scene I kind of skipped over, but I don't want to say too much because I want people to actually watch it themselves so they can see. But later on, like he goes to her and he excuse me, he's heading to her classroom and like she passes him, and she has longer hair at this point because before she just had like short hair, so she has long hair. He was like Shoko, like she turns and sees him because she still has an aeronate at this point, so she can still hear somewhat, and she sees him and she runs. He was like, "Can we be like be friends?" kind of thing, and she runs and like he chases after her, and like she's like hiding like this, like by some like staircase thing, and he sees her and he tries to like tell her, hey, like I'm here, like I'm not trying to I'm not trying to hurt you or nothing, and he does sign language to her, and she goes, how do you know sign language? Like through sign language, and he goes, I learned it in a class, and so that showed that he learned sign language because he felt bad, and I guess one day hoped to like talk to her. So he asked her if they'd be friends and hang out. So eventually they start hanging out where she'll feed like koi fish, yeah, koi fish, and he and her start to develop a friendship, and her sister, who Sho originally thought was a boy, she knows like what happened. So like she hated him at first, but like she starts to see like he's not that bad of a dude anymore, and starts to like hang out with like at his place because she would like go and visit like his little niece who's like probably like 3 or 4, and like hang out with him sometimes, and Shoko starts to like Sho, and we can see that Sho likes her somewhat, but he's stupid as well from like some of the things he does. So he eventually helps this one guy out. I forgot his name. What's his name? Is it Satoshi? No, I don't think that's it. Hold on, let me click this name to see it. Is it Tomohiro? No, it's not Tomohiro. Dang it. Okay, well I can't remember who. I can't remember his name, but his hairdo is similar to someone from My Hero Academia. Grape Juice was his hero's name. His hair, but it's green. So they become friends because Sho helped him out at one point, and they develop a friendship to where he shows Sho how to be like how to be friends kind of thing, because Sho doesn't really understand what friendship is, and he helps Sho like become closer with Shoka, and they pretty much build like a group. So Miki starts to hang out, and then she has a friend, and then eventually Naoka also joins like that group, and they like she even still bullied Shoko at certain points because she likes Sho and Sho likes her, so she still bullies Shoko, and that was pissing me off. I was like, come on, and Sho eventually like sees it like a recording of her bullying her too, and he's like, I just want Shoko to not hate herself and blame herself for anything. So he does like her, and he wants to get to know her better and hang out more with her. And the mom, it took the mom a while, but the mom eventually starts to like forgive him, not forgive him, but like see that he's different. And the the grandma who was there for both the sister who is Yuzuru and Shoko, like that's Shoko's little sister, who was there for them like throughout their lives and stuff. She eventually passes away, and Sho was there for the little sister who was struggling because she just lost her grandma type thing, and eventually they had him help them like make the cake and stuff for the mom's birthday, and then they also go to like they just hang out type stuff, and Sho eventually push everyone else away kind of thing because Miki also like he asked Miki a simple question like, have you been spreading rumors about like what happened with Shoko, and she gets mad and she's yelling so everyone in the class can hear like, it's not my fault that you bullied Shoko and all that stuff, and he was like, but you did too, and she was like, I would never cut the same stuff to where everyone like kind of like he feels like everyone's just hating him and stuff like that. So like he like when he befriended them, like the X like fell off their face, but like then it got closed up again for certain people, to where he just didn't want to like he just closed them off. Now he just kept on spending time with Shoko, Yuzuru, and his family, and then like the mom, I guess, like Shoko's mom. Like he spread time with them, but not with the others because of they had a falling out. Like he just like got tired of all their stuff and like, you did this, you did this, you did this. You only knew me for, you don't even really know me, stuff like that. Like he just like went off on them kind of thing. So they all just went their own way. But the guy who was like his best friend, he wasn't like mad at him. He was like hurt, but like he was like, I'll just give you space and like kind of thing. So oh, and Noko wait Nyoka blame she calls out Miki too. She's like, you can't blame Sho for everything. Like you did this, and this, and like like that's when they like Sho just snapped on everyone and had them all leave. So they go to a firework. Like Shoka, this little sister and the mom, they go to a firework. Now the sister and the mom goes to get something to eat, I think, and Shoko said that she needs to go home to study. So Sho was just there, Sho like he was like just he was gonna go with her, but she leaves. She said I could go myself, stuff like that. She leaves. So the little sister asks Sho if he could go and get her camera because she left it at the house. So he goes, okay, cool. So he goes there and he knocks on the door. No one answers. Of course, she's not gonna hear it probably. So he opens the door and the door's unlocked. He goes in, he sees the camera, and then he sees her outside, and like in the patio, and he calls to her. She's not responding, and then we see like on the table like her hearing aid is there, so she took it out, and she starts to climb up like to get on the ledge, and he's and this is what really pissed me off. He's just standing there like shocked and freaked out and like trying to like call to her, and then he eventually starts to run. He hits a chair and falls, and then he's just looking, and she's standing like she could have already jumped multiple times, and this was pissing me off. I'm like, that's not helping no one. Get up and go save her. And then he eventually gets up, runs out there, and as she falls, and he like grabs her hand, and he's asking her to like grab the rail, like the edge, the ledge, so that like because he's holding on like both. At first it was one hand, and then he uses the other hand, and his feet's like lifted up, so like it's not on the ground because he's like, all the way hung like over, like try to like pull her up. She eventually like grabs it, and he pulls her up. But as he pulls her up, he falls, and then um she's like, I think she like looked down, like shocked, like no kind of thing, like no, like she didn't want him to fall, and he falls, and then it looked like he like fell into like a small pond or something, and then like blood like showed like it was coming from the side, and we get informed that he's in a coma, and I think he's been in a coma for a while, and he like the mom, like his mom, was going into the hospital this one day, and Shoko's mom, and his sister were there, and both, but not in the same room. The mom and the little sister like kneeled down and was apologizing to Show's mom, saying that, oh, it's my sister's fault. She my idiot sister was gonna got saved, and that's how Show got hurt, stuff like that, and she was telling them like, no, like stand up, like it's okay. And then we get a scene of Shoko getting beat up from Naoka, and she's blaming Shoko for Sho being hurt, and she's just saying sorry, like like apologizing, and eventually like the mom came out, and then the mom, like Shoko's mom, came out, and she starts to fight with Naoka until Sho's mom comes and separates them, lifts up Shoko, gives her some wise words, and Shoko said that she wants to fix what she broke, because she felt like she broke the group that Sho was in. So she goes to everyone saying that she wants to like fix it, and she eventually is dreaming, and it's of Sho saying that that day is like a good day for him to like leave, kind of thing. So she wakes up and she runs to like the spot that they always like, their hangout spot, and she starts to cry and she screams, and then Sho like wakes up, like it's like he heard her scream. He wakes up, and like he has like a bunch of tube like in him, and he's like pulling it out. He doesn't understand like what happened. He's like Shoka, and then he starts saying mom, and like he's like pulling stuff out. And then he's like hurt still. He's like dragging himself to go look for I keep saying Shoka because I'm getting the names mixed up. Shoko. So, because the last he knew, like, she almost, like, fell and killed herself. So, he eventually, like, sees her at their spot, and then their sign language, they're signing to each other, and eventually, they both, he helped her, like, he's like, I want you to stop blaming yourself. I want you to to be happy and stuff. And he's like, I never apologized to you properly. So he apologized to her, and she's over here crying, and she and him, like, like they really bond at this point, and like more than they'd have in any of the other parts. And this is when I finally start to like Show character, like truly like it. At this point, this is where he had that character development, like that because he was just pissing me off throughout the movie. At a certain point, he was like not that bad when at a certain point, but like he was pissing me off. So he wants to change as well because he can't look people in the eye. So she's helping him do that. So it's at a point to where he eventually him and the group pretty much all come back together, and he asked them if they could all like go to the school festival together. They're already at the school at this point, but he means like go to different places and have fun together. And as they're having fun, is like the world opened up to him. Like the X on everyone else's faces that's not in his group all fell off, and he was able to hear, like everything was like muffled. Like it was like he's deaf to the world. Like he's not paying attention to what they're saying. And then he hears them all, and he's over here starts to cry, and he's just like this, wiping his eyes, just crying because his eyes and ears are finally open. Now, it does end with at that point where he's just over here like happy to be like with his friends and finally, awake to like the world, and Shoko is finally happy. Like she's not blaming herself for for stuff, and like, you know, like they're helping each other. Like it pretty much ends at that point. Like not at that point, you know, like there. Like he sees like his all his friends, and it pretty much ends there. Now this anime really shows that, one, there are some really disgusting people out in the world that come in all ages, because Naoka was still a bad person even when she was older, until eventually, like when she eventually, like, you know, moves towards the right position near the end, like after Sho's in the hospital, and she sees that she stops Shoko from seeing him too, like in like going in the room to see him. So Shoko will be like outside just waiting, like the whole time until like visiting hours is over, like just out there. So every time Nyoka like leaves the hospital, she sees her even in the rain, and it's eventually when she's like walking in the rain, Shoko is like behind her, like with the umbrella like over her. I think at that point it changed for her, and she wasn't as mean to her. Like she was still like mean, but not like, she didn't mean to be mean. She was just like that, but she wasn't mean. And she eventually, like, you know, she actually learned sign language, so she called her more on inside language, and then Shoko is like correcting her, like, what was it? It was more on, or something like that, like more on, I can't remember how she did, but she shows her how to do it, and she goes, whatever, and like she leaves and she's like blushing. So like they made like a joke about that, but they all like hang out, and they actually like became like a solid group of friends, and hopefully they all move towards the right direction. But it really shows that, one, what goes around comes around, because Sho was bullying her, and then he became the one who got bullied. Two, it showed like, well, he didn't even know like what real friendship was, because like how his friends all just turned on him. That's not real friendship. Two, it's not real friendship because even if they viewed what him bullying her as wrong, they didn't do nothing to stop it. They joined in. That's not what real friendship is. Like, especially if you're trying to be like a good person. Like they viewed it as if he was the issue, that he was the one bad person. But like, no, you guys are all bad people too. You guys joined in with him bullying a deaf girl for being deaf, and blaming her for all the issues that you, not you, but like they might have felt because of it. So it shows us that, it shows us, like, you know, depression. It shows us self hatred, because she hated herself. Shoko hated herself. It was like a lot of grief, and it shows that like you can't just have like, you can't keep it to yourself. Like you have to tell other people that are close to you, or even someone you might not even know. Like you just need to find help, and things can and will get better if you're open to it. Like that's what I got from it, and it is inspiring. It's a good movie. It just like, you know, really pissed me off at times, and that's how I know it's a good movie, because it made me feel that, you know. So if you want to go, if you didn't already watch it, you don't care about spoilers, because I don't care about spoilers, so I'll watch spoilers and stuff like that before I watch a movie or show, or read a manga or book, whatever, and it doesn't bother me. I still enjoy it. Like I suggest like go watch that movie. It's a good movie. It really is. If you did watch it and you already know like what happened, like tell me like what are some parts that you might have disliked, or that you liked, or what characters you might have liked or disliked, down in the comment section below, and I'll comment down, and you know, we can talk about it. Like, subscribe. If you want me to review another movie or show, leave it down in this you know, comment below, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.